Let's see if I can make this work. Yeah. Oh. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back, Junks Automotive. What if we could put a nice fancy radio that has all the stuff, you know, the Wi-Fi eggs and the memory buttons, and you just think about it and it does stuff, and it tells the GPS's that tells you where to go, and still keep the classic look, right? That thing, yeah. Can we just make it go out of the way and then come back when we want? I think so. So if the intro to this video works out, then you'll know what I'm working for. It's all up here, I guess. So hopefully the intro works out. It's backwards, kind of. Anyhow, we got some little bitty tiny parts made. A few more to make. We got magnets, some epoxy, and some little bitty stainless steel hardware. All right, let's get busy. Come on, come on. Let's get you over here to see what's going on. Right here. Come on. So here's what's in my brain. I don't know if it'll work on the car, but it's in. And I'm going to do it so that if it doesn't work out, because, you know, we can still go to the original route. But we got here, this is a $39 radio. It supports Google CarCraft or Android Auto, that's it. And it does Apple Play. So you guys that have newer cars know what that is. That way Ralph's Android phone, like mine can, it just connects to it through Wi-Fi, and it makes it handy. And then you got navigation, run everything through your phone, right? No subscriptions, no nothing. And run the Pandoras. I listen to Pandora a lot, right? But here's the thing that the conservative guys like, and I like it too. That's your radio blinker. Can we just make it like go out of the way? Okay. So far I've made these little tiny brackets with one little tiny hole. Okay, this is going on the back side of the dash. Hopefully this will connect to this, actually the other way, backwards, and then it'll go Rick. You'll see. Okay. But this actually will fit in the hole that this covers, right? But then you have this thing sticking out. That's not cool. All right, now I get it. It's not cool. Plus, it's basically an army Jeep, and if the top's on it and it rains and it's got, you know, you don't want that getting wet. It's like $83, but Ralph won't want to replace it. Trust me. So if we put this under the dash and behind the dash, right? And we can even angle it towards the driver. We've got our USB connections, and he can still get to the buttons if he needs to, but you're not supposed to play with the radio while you're driving anyway, right? I also have something special to go here, because this is where your finger washer pump goes. Well, we're not going to use that. We're going to use this little hole for electric button. Right? But I've got something to go here, and it's also a USB charger with a voltmeter on it. There's no voltmeter, so you can monitor voltage that way. You just look down and it's a little digital 14, 15, 18 volts. Hopefully not, but hopefully it's not 11. So we got to build brackets. We've got to finish our little parts to make this cover go grunk, 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 and maybe some magnets to hold it in place. Now, be honest, I'm not the only one who's done it. I saw one picture, and you know, a guy like me, one picture, oh, I can do that. I can build that. Well, we're in it now. So let me figure out what's going on here, and I'll turn you back on. So I need something small to hold this apparatus on the back side of the dash. Yes, I did it. I drilled holes, 1/8" holes, and we'll use pop rivets, and everything will be hidden by the plate. Again, if something goes wrong, put the plate on there, you'll never see it. So I'm hoping that I can, let's figure it out. There we go. So there's my one of my little pivot holes. Hoping I can mark those and drill the holes and still have these holes in the same place compared to each other. So I don't think that'll be too hard, but you know, I'm the one doing it. So, and you know, you drill a hole, you got a little something back there, and I'm like, I need a piece of sandpaper. No, I have the tool. Our really good buddy Brian, not the one Brian, but the other Brian, sent that to me, and man, just back there, it's got a little file on it, a little handmade tool they used working on aircraft, if I remember correctly. Rink on the back side, cleaned it right up. Thanks again, buddy. Well, there's my little bracketry. I'll show you. Give me a few minutes here, and I'll show you how I made them and what they are. But so here's the pivot bolts here, right? Then I have my holes drilled in the dash, and the brackets are behind there. Well, I got to know where they got to be at, because once I drill the holes in those brackets, they're done. There's no adjusting it up or down this way. So I'm kind of looking at the distance here, looking at the distance here. This one actually looks just a little bit lower. I might stick something in there and, you know, to compare it. But I'm looking for the bracket itself to clear the top. And when it comes down, we want it to come down just a little bit right there, so that cover doesn't block the radio, right? That way it'll go click. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, let me make sure the distance is right and it's the same, best I can anyway, right? I don't know why I get myself into these. I'm like, I got a cool idea, let's do this. Oh yeah, go for it. No, well, here we are. Sorry, fan. All this is some stainless steel pieces that I have laying around. I believe my old buddy Alvin gave them to me a long time ago, and it's cool about it is it won't rust. And once you bend it, it's hard to bend back. It's pretty tough to bend these little pieces and drill a hole in it. But that's what I spent a couple hours doing. There's my holes for the dash, and they don't look perfect. I probably spent a bunch of time making really nice ones. And the little levers here, they're just, let's see, this was a piece of don't know what, but I thought, well, that's, you know, enough rigidity there. It's not sheet metal, and I can always make it smaller. It turns out I can put it on the grinder, cut it down, make it thinner if I need to. So let's get these, and I found out I'm gonna have trouble where my pivot hole is where my rivets are going. So, you know, instead of doing anything different, I'm just going to go ahead and put the rivets in it, because you can always drill the rivets out. Maybe I can use a shorter rivet and then put it together after it's in the dash. I don't know. Well, there we go. See, so this, when it's in place, hopefully, or you will see it, and we'll touch it up, or we'll put some black felt, because it's going to be, I don't want it to be rattly anyway. Huh, okay. Well, anyhow, there's our little brackets. So now I'm hoping I can figure out how to connect those on there, and then flip. Of course, it'll go like this, right? Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I thought that was closer than that. I guess not. All right, we can figure it out. Use some black felt right around the edge of that. We'll cover it and it won't rattle, and we'll touch it up. How about that? Deal. All right, let me figure out another little tiny piece. Well, don't you know, as soon as I turn the water on the garden, it starts raining horses and cows. Anyway, let me show you what I'm up to. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. I have our bracket centered in the hole best I can, and then inside here you see where the dangle bracket, we'll call it, is attached here, and there's a hole. Well, I've got this little bitty piece of stainless steel, and give me a few minutes and I'll show you where I found that. We'll see if I can I just want to know where these got to land, right? Right there. Kind of hard to see because of my light, but that hole lines up with it right there in the corner. Now I can mark each one and know where I got to attach it, because the metal part is going to go on top of this, the metal part of the cover, right? Jeez. All right. So these little clippies, so I've got them marked left and right. Once I got them marked in my frame, they're just little tabs off of some kind of brake hardware, like silencer, anti-rattle for brake pads. I can't tell you what they were off of, but they were hanging off, well, right there. So I just clipped them off there because they were the same thing, and bent them over, and you know, hopefully that'll work. Tiny stuff here. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is mix some 2-part epoxy, 4,000 psi something, turns black. Then we're going to attach it to the inside, right? Between this and this goes on top with that little lip. Then at that point, once that's set up good enough, we're going to epoxy this whole thing on there. Now the emblem, we've got clips for that, so we can just clip it on there. I'm not going to glue it on there, but these are, it's a $30 setup. So if I destroy it, Mike gets to spend $30. Fine. All right, got them dabbed on there, and what I'm hoping is by the time I glue this on there, it'll be a sandwich of goo. Okay, it says 10 minutes for this to set up, so I'm gonna let it go. Wait 10 minutes. I didn't want to do the whole thing and find out it wasn't worth the crap. So we'll let it go 10 minutes, and this hardens up pretty nice, and I can flick it with my finger, it doesn't come off. Then we'll go ahead and redo the rest of it. Then we'll get it bolted on and see what we can make it look like. Something, I hope. It seems to have hardened up. Little, that's on there. So I think how I want to do this, of course this sets inside that chrome. I'm going to mix it with this flat side. Then I'm going to take my edge and just go like this and kind of fill that in the best I can. Get it in there. And then I've got a paper towel for, you know, because you know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to get it on that chrome. So this stuff, the Gorilla, just squirt it out together. Got a hardener and a catalyst and the material, and it doesn't really like to squeeze very good, or it's a whole bunch. Let's try that. Smells good in a chemical paint way. So apparently I got less than 10 minutes to do this. Of course, I'll probably fast forward it for you with a tiny bit of hootenanny music. I know how you guys like that.
If I had a nickel for every pickle that you'd got us into. I'd have one or two more nickels now than I do. If I had a dime for every time that I'd been cried to by you, I'd have quite a few more dimes now than most folks do. If I had a dollar bill for every time you say you will but you won't, I'd have a seen no more than I do.
You guys let me know what you think. I have, and I want to decide on my, pull tab. You got to have something, but you got to have something to hold it. So inside here, if I can grab them, I'm gonna glue these magnets. Oh my gosh, they're strong. Anyhow, these little magnets right here. I have one on each side, and I think there's another one over here, and they happen to catch this just as it goes in there and holds it up. See if it'll do it. Yeah, it'll still hold it, but not as well. So I'll have to glue those magnets into place. And I have another magnet too, but I just don't want it falling out while you're driving, if that's the deal. But friction tape around the edge. That way Ralph's girlfriend don't cut her little hand getting in there to push buttons, or Ralph's little guitar playing fingers, you know. All right, I guess it's time to put the radio in.